I'm Brian McLaren. Thanks for being part of this quest for a new kind of Christianity.
All right, we're off to question 7.
The sex question. How can we talk about sexuality without fighting about it and dividing about it and attacking each other about it?
Why does it seem every time we talk about sexuality, we hit homosexuality?
Yeah, that's actually one of the big questions I raise in the book. I think our bad answers, our unhelpful answers to the first 6 questions help us understand why we're so tangled up about the issue of homosexuality.
Mm-hmm. So many authors will start with Leviticus or other books talking about sexuality. Why do you start with Acts?
Yeah, I know almost always the arguments are from 6 verses from Leviticus, Romans, 1 Corinthians. But as I worked on this chapter, I was really blown away by the courage of Luke, who wrote the Gospel of Luke and the book of Acts, that just a few chapters into his history of the earliest months and years of the Christian movement, he decides to tell the story of the inclusion of someone who always had been excluded in the past. The man was, first, he was not Jewish, he was a Gentile. He was a Gentile of African descent, different skin color, different racial background, different cultural background, but he's identified as a eunuch. And as a eunuch, he's not a typical heterosexual. He will never have the traditional family. And Luke tells his story, and I do a close reading of the story, and to me, it's just amazing. The more I worked with that story, the more relevant I thought it was to the issue of how we respond to gay and lesbian people.
Mm-hmm. But that's not the only subject you hit. You deal with all of our sexuality.
Well, I actually think one of the reasons heterosexual people are so obsessed with homosexuality is that we're very anxious about dealing with our own sexuality, and we're having huge struggles in marriage and divorce rates, in premarital sex, issues like pornography, and all of the rest. We're all struggling with our sexuality, and this is where I think gay and lesbian people are doing all of us a favor by coming out of the closet about their sexual issues. They're helping all of us to come out of the closet and admit that we're all sexual beings and we're all struggling to figure out what that means and to figure out how to be faithful to God, to our spouses. And so it's all of our story.
Yeah, it's sure to be a pretty heated discussion, good and bad, huh?
Well, I hope that when people gather around this chapter and they talk about this chapter, they'll understand that they have a chance to start modeling respectful, open, honest dialogue that doesn't always end in the same old kinds of tired cycles of I'm right, you're wrong. But maybe we can bring the dialogue up to a higher level.
Interesting. And wouldn't that be the church, huh?
Then we can really act like the church.